Wake up, Lo-Fi Nation. It's episode 200. But also, it's Messy Monday. Welcome. Don't adjust your dial. Welcome, everyone, to the Lofi Poli Sci podcast. I'm your host, Michael Pickering. That's right. Lo-Fi as in low fidelity, low quality, in your face, messy as can be, global news show. Here we're going to talk about that famous question, what's going on in the world today? And to celebrate our 200th episode, we thought, why not bring back an old friend of ours, Messy Monday. That's right, today we're talking pirates, military flybys, mass protests, mass arrests, drug kingpins being arrested, and so much more. But always remember that this messiness, this is the real of what's going on out there amongst us. So let's hit it. The news, fresh off that press. The following 3 stories all come from the BBC, Europe and Asia sections. In pictures, tens of thousands gather for pro-Navalny protest. Last week, we told you protests were coming to Russia over the weekend to call for pro-democracy opposition leader Navalny to be freed. And boy, did they. The numbers are hard to tell, but the pictures say a lot. Take a look, peeps. It's also estimated that over 3,000 people were arrested across the country this weekend. Keep your eyes open on this situation all week long. Now to Taiwan we go. The headline, Taiwan reports large incursion by Chinese warplanes for second day. This is big, people. Flybys by China are somewhat normal, but the magnitude has changed. You see, China claims Taiwan as part of its own country. And Taiwan? Well, let's just say they disagree about that. To quote the BBC on the flyby, it consisted of 12 fighters, 2 anti-submarine aircraft, and a reconnaissance plane, end quote. We'll keep you updated as we hear more for sure. But we gotta keep going. There's so much happening in the world this weekend. Like this next one, Vietnam's Party's Congress picks new communist leader. And if you didn't know, now you do. Vietnam is very much a communist country and picks their leaders just like other communist states, without the people voting. This one's important as Vietnam is hustling and grinding right now in the global economy, and their next leader needs to keep that going, to keep Vietnam's influence on the world stage growing. We'll come back to this one once we know who this new leader is. And our following 3 stories all come from Reuters World News. Dutch police arrest alleged Asian drug syndicate kingpin. And what do we have here? The leader of an international crime syndicate in Asia known as The Company, estimated of making over $17 billion in profit in 2018 alone, which is more money than almost half the countries of the world make in a single year in GDP. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow. And The Company is responsible for potentially as much as 75% of all drugs going into Australia. Their leader has been arrested in Amsterdam and is likely being extradited to Australia, where authorities have been looking for him for decades. Organized crime has taken a big hit these days, as just last week, over 300 members of an Italian Mafia family, known as the 'Ndrangheta family, are being put on trial as we speak. We'll keep you updated on both of these situations as we know more. Next up, to the high seas off Nigeria. Pirates kidnap 15 sailors in attack on Turkish container ship off Nigeria. All right, people, this one is bare of details, as it's an ongoing situation, and Turkey's president has said that efforts are underway in order to get these 15 sailors back. More info when we know. But the article brings up a really relevant point, that of the 135 sailors that were kidnapped via piracy last year worldwide in 22 different acts of piracy, 130 of those 135 were taken off the coast of Nigeria. Something's going down. Keep watching out there. Now another story on the high seas. Indonesia's Coast Guard seizes Iranian and Panamanian tankers. All right, so it seems Indonesia seized these 2 unmarked ships, which it's illegal to be an unmarked ship in the oceans these days. But come to find out, it was an oil tanker from Panama being transferred oil from a tanker from Iran, which would go against the oil sanctions placed on Iran. No comment from Iran yet, but we're definitely interested to see what they have to say on this one. And our last 4 stories all come from AP News International. Belarus police arrest 100 in renewed protest. Okay, it's been a while since we've heard word out of Belarus and their pro-democracy protest against the stealing of the presidency by President Lukashenko, who had been in power since freedom and end of the Soviet Union. The article is brief, but brings up an extremely important point. that since August, it's estimated that more than 30,000 people have been arrested. Keep your eyes open and ears to the ground, Lo-Fi listeners. Lots going down in Belarus, still. Now to another protest story, because people everywhere got messy this weekend. Thousands take to streets protesting Brazil's Bolsonaro. 2 days of protest went on this weekend in Brazil, wanting their president impeached. And the interesting thing about these 2 days of protest? They aren't the same people. While Saturday's protests were called by the opposition parties, Sunday's protests were called out by the people who voted Bolsonaro in. Keep watch of this one. More to come for sure. Now to an old story coming back again. Scotland's leader vows to push for second independence vote. The last time Scotland voted for independence was in 2014 and narrowly missed, as a 55% to 45% decided to stay in the UK. But now things are quite a bit different, as the UK just left the European Union. The feeling is a vote now could very well lead to Scotland becoming an independent country, leaving the United Kingdom, looking to the European Union and say, hey, can we join up? We'll keep you posted as we know more for sure. And a last piece of news to send you on your way for the day, getting away from all this messiness and to something simply splendid. The headline, Estonia to get first female PM as a government deal clinched. Fantastic, Estonia. Simply fantastic. You get your independence from the Soviet Union in 1991. You become a member of the European Union by 2004. You're one of the freest democracies in the world. And within just 30 years of your country's independence, you select your first female prime minister and leader of the country. Check out the stories, peeps. In a world filled with so much messiness, Estonia here shows all of us how things can always change for the better. And that's a brief snapshot of what's going on in the world today. Stay tuned for tomorrow's episode of Top 10 GDPs by Country. Always remember that Lofi Poli Sci is more than just me. It's the we that we be. And that we that we be got us to episode 200 today. Thank you for that, and for always being there. Thanks for listening. Stay safe, wash those hands, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Lofi Poli Sci podcast. Pickering, signing off.